happen right now. Eyes of the nation will be on President Biden tonight when he delivers his State of the Union address. The president is expected to tout his economic achievements, safeguarding of women's reproductive rights, and standing up for America's allies overseas. It comes hot off his Super Tuesday win. NBC's Bree Jackson gives us a look at what's ahead.
From investments in infrastructure projects to lowering prescription drug prices. During his State of the Union address tonight, President Biden is expected to tout how his administration's policies are making a positive difference in Americans' lives.
The president will outline an agenda that is about continuing to build on the progress that we've made over the last 3 years.
Administration officials say the president will also lay out his priorities, ranging from creating a fairer tax system to tackling divisive issues like a woman's right to choose.
Protecting women's reproductive health in the face of relentless attacks from Republican elected officials.
Senator Katie Britt from Alabama is set to deliver the Republican response.
How you doing, Denise?
I am awesome. I am very good today. I have been sick, majorly sick for the last 3, 4, 5 days.
Yeah.
So I am on the mend. I want to thank everybody out there for being patient with me. I am much better today.
They didn't know you were sick.
I could hear it.
Yeah.
I could listen to the show and tell I was sick.
Yeah.
So I know that they did too. I know that y'all did, and I'm okay. I could tell. But welcome to the show, everybody. Make sure you share, like, and follow. Is this thing working on every platform that you see us on? We have the little ribbon with this thing working on it. Also, we have had listeners ask James and I how they can support the show. If you would like to support our efforts, you can buy us a cup of coffee, and the link is going to be posted on all of our social medias. And that's just if you would like to help us. No pressure. We still love you being here every single day. But you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Getter, True Social, Rumble, and YouTube. Thank you so much because you are the greatest audience in the business. But make sure you don't miss President Trump's State of the Union answers live on True Social this evening after Biden's State of the Union boondoggle, because you know that's what it's going to be.
On an interest level, if I had to choose between what to do tonight and watch President Biden, I'd choose anything else. You know, I mean,
Right.
really, I would.
The only reason we're looking is because this is our job.
Well, it's big
now.
news. I mean,
and it's big news,
It's
and you
big
need
news.
to know
Yeah.
the other side. You really do.
And you need to look at what he's trying to focus on, man. This shows nothing but a huge disconnect in what we all understand is an important issues, which is the border and which is our economy. And
Yes.
the first thing that you hear that he's going to come out here and address is what? Abortion issues.
A divider issue.
A divider
Something to
issue.
divide us.
Again, yeah, something that as we pointed out even the other day on what voters considered important, abortion was the last on that list of what 5 things: the border, the economy, and there was a couple
Foreign
other things.
policy.
Foreign policy, yeah,
And then abortion.
And
It was
abortion.
those 4.
dead last.
You know, which I don't even understand why they even do foreign policy. Why can't we be about America
Well,
first?
we've got to have foreign policy. We've got to defend our borders. Foreign policy is a way to help defend ourselves. It really is, because you've got to have allies in the world.
Point taken.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a big issue, and it should be a third big issue. Do you know one of the things, and I've heard a lot of people, a lot of moderate people especially, that from 2016 did not vote for President Trump. But once they sent from 2016 to 2020 and they paid attention to his foreign policy and the fact that he did not get us into any other wars, he did not provoke people. Hey, matter of fact, he entered North Korea. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, so,
everything has been done
my
peacefully.
Point, yeah, and my point is with those moderates, they seen that in 2016. They might not have voted for him in 2016, but they watched him from then till 20, and they were very impressed with his foreign policy, and they voted for him in 20.
You think so?
Oh,
Because
man.
of his foreign policy?
Sure.
Yeah. But President Trump put out a statement last night asking everyone to join him on True Social. He's going to do a play-by-play. And what he says is, on his statement, of crooked Joe Biden's State of the Union address, I will correct in rapid response any and all inaccurate statements, especially pertaining to the border and his weaponization of the DOJ, FBI, AGs, and district attorneys to go after his political opponent, me, and something that has never been done in this country. We did this once before to tremendous success, beating all records. It is important for the country to get the truth. There you go. That's President Trump's statement. So we'll be bringing you play-by-play information on this evening. It will be a working night. It's fun. I love these kind of nights.
Yep. And speaking of getting to the truth.
That's it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Speaking of getting to the truth, I seen this tweet by Emerald Robinson this morning, and it made me think about it once again. This is what she says. She goes, our voting machines are connected to the internet. They're designed so that votes can be flipped without leaving a trace. They can be hacked with a pen in 5 minutes. Get ready. The 2020 election will happen again. I want to tell you something. That's the most truth I've seen this morning so far, is whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, it's happening.
Our elections are compromised.
Sure they are.
They are.
One of the biggest prime examples we've seen of that, and I know everybody's talked about it, it's been in the news, is the California primaries from yesterday.
Yeah.
From Tuesday.
It's happening to Democrats.
Yep.
It is so funny to watch now.
Yep.
You know, I think it's been there a long time, and we just really haven't paid attention to it. In the 2020 election, what the Democrats can't stand, who are in power at this moment because of what they did in the 2020 election, is that they've been doing it behind everybody's backs for so long, and we really haven't paid attention to these states, you know, because we don't live there. They make their own laws and they do their own thing, which that's what we've all been taught. You know, every state does their own thing. But I do believe that the Democrats saw also what happened in 2020, and they're not happy with it either.
Yeah, I don't believe they are either.
And I do believe this is going to start a snowball effect.
Yeah. And what's good with all of this is the fact that 2020 and even now with what we're seeing right here, what we've seen with Bush Gore, you know, the contested elections, what we're beginning to see, and everybody's beginning to see it, is they are rigged.
Yes, and the machines are doing it.
And here's a good post from Sarah Fields. I kind of like this. I seen this last night, and this kind of explains the best of what's going on in California with this. If we all remember from Tuesday night, Garvey had a big lead on Adam Schiff.
Mm-hmm. Everyone was watching this race right here.
Yeah, and not so much that later on in the night, Schiff began to pull ahead of him, but the big thing was they were actually taking votes away.
From Garvey.
That should never happen.
That is mathematically impossible.
Well, here's what Sarah said about this on Twitter. She said, this is an algorithm trying to figure out a math problem. The math problem is you. Every Californian needs to understand what just happened. You're redder than you think. They robbed votes from Steve Garvey in plain view in front of everyone. Steve Garvey was leading Adam Schiff with 1.8 million votes. And just like that, with a snap of a finger, like Emerald said, with a pen, just like that, it was cut in half. This is called the glitch switch. Adam Schiff got more votes in the end by a razor-thin margin. Just like you said, almost statistically impossible. Elections are an additive process. They should be easily understood. Votes are gathered, increasing over time, never shed. Every candidate's vote total should go nowhere but up. Maybe remain static if it's a small election somewhere rural, but never, ever should that tally decrease. Each raw data interval of reported votes should be an additive process, and you shouldn't see any deletions or oscillations. Amen to that. If Garvey was leading by 1.8 million votes, then that vote total that Garvey had at that point
should have gone up.
Or stayed right there.
Or stayed right there.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
even if, but looking at the video showing the votes being taken away, and he starts out with 1.8. So even before he lost, he still made more than Adam Schiff. See what I mean? Adam Schiff only had 1,175,000.
Yeah.
And he had 1 million.
Garvey was basically sitting there with 45% of the vote at that point. While Schiff was sitting there, while Schiff was sitting there around 27, 28 at that point.
How does that happen?
And it flipped completely.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, guys, I don't know what else to do, man.
What are they going to do? I haven't heard anything else about it being looked at, brought up. Are we going to have some lawfare? What's going on?
Is somebody going to contest this?
Because for some reason, it seems the only people that get lawfare against is Republicans.
Yeah.
Maybe Adam Schiff, somebody needs to.
Maybe Katie Porter will. Because
maybe she will.
Maybe Democrat Katie Porter will. Yeah,
she's been called an election denier today.
All right.
You know,
join the crowd.
Join the crowd. Yay. Join the election denier club.
Yay, we got another one.
But you know what? We need those. We need some election deniers to stand up and say, hey, this isn't going our way either. It just goes whoever they want. They want Schiff in there because Schiff is a criminal. They want him in there because he lied about Russiagate. He did all their lying, all of the Russia collusion, the PP hoax, everything they did to President Trump. They need Schiff bad in there to stop any Senate from doing anything.
He's still a useful idiot.
He's a useful idiot.
Yep, still at this time.
So they're going to cheat the election for him because they need him. Yep, so there's that. There's crime in California, which we've been talking about the elections. But another thing to talk about, we were talking about Katie Porter, and she's been called an election denier because Gascon is winning or is still in the running to be DA in the Los Angeles area. You know, and people have been trying to get rid of this man for years. They did a recall on him. And
that failed.
That failed.
When it shouldn't have.
And they're still trying to do a recall. I believe there's still a petition out there to recall this man. And here we go. We have an election, and he didn't win by big margins. Granted, there was 11 people in this election to try to overtake this man. And they needed, I guess, that many people in there to even get him to 22%, and he ended up. But he's going through a runoff, and this Katie Porter, who has been called an election denier because
she's a Democrat running in the campaign too.
Yeah, so she lost. So she thinks that this is also not right. There's no way that this could happen because people do not want Gascon. Here I have this article here. It says Katie Porter blames billionaires, campaign lies, and concession speech, even though big donors backed her. So she came out and she's very unhappy. We're standing 3-1 in TV spending and an onslaught of billionaires who spent millions peddling lies, and our opponents spending more to boost the Republican than promoting his own campaign. While the votes are still coming in, we know that tonight will come up short, Porter said just after 9 p.m. on Tuesday. Our opponents threw everything, every trick, millions of dollars, every trick in the playbook to knock us off our feet. But I'm still standing in high heels, she added. Because of you, we have the establishment running scared. Now, these Democrats are going to come back and say they have the establishment. Well, yeah, he is an establishment.
He is.
And he needs to go. And he has big, dark money behind him right now. But I think it's very funny that Porter, a progressive Democrat who has been representing Orange County since 2019, is now running for office to get Donald Trump not elected. She rose to popularity by helping viral moments, questioning big pharma CEOs during congressional hearings, and publicly defied big corporate campaign backing. However, Porter herself has received millions of dollars from big donors, and she wants to sit here and act like she's not part of the establishment, and she is. They're all part of it. And these Democrats, if they lose for some reason, they just, they take it personal. Hey, this is all business.
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, even AOC will come out from time to time and dog her own party, even that. But I think what's great with that is that what she said, even though she's hypocritical in it, what she said is the truth.
It is the truth.
And that goes back to my theory and my idea of people who are rational, sound mind people who just happen to vote Democrat. Those people hear that now. They begin to see it. They open their eyes to it. And I believe that's happening. I know it's happened across those that were in the middle, the moderates, those that were right-leaning. They begin to come to come back to this side too on these issues and these stances. Mm-hmm. And I believe that a lot of the Democrats, just like we talked about yesterday about a lot of the people that voted in the open primaries probably went in as Democrats and still went in there and voted for President Trump. And I think this is a good thing because this is going to help them go, oh, shit, this is right. She's
well,
right.
sure. You know, and
she's right.
And I do.
Our vote is being taken away. Your vote's being taken away.
That's exactly right. You know, and going back to what you were talking about, the crime in California, which is on the ballot in November. I mean, they vote, the people in Los Angeles and in California, they voted to put a crime measures on their ballot in November. Will Democrats finally stand up to save their states? Will they finally go, hey, enough is enough? But we'll see. And while we watch the crime in California, it's going on in New York right now too. You know, the mayor of the governor of New York has now sent the National Guard to the subways because crime is so bad that people can't even get to work. They can't, you don't know who is going to show up on a subway to steal anything that you have, or kill you or shoot you. I mean, we've heard of so many stories of down in the subway where a man actually saved a woman's life down there and he's been charged for shooting somebody. I can remember that happening. There's so many things that have been happening down the subways and they just let it happen. Their soft on crime policies are killing Americans. And you know what? People are fleeing New York City now for so many different reasons. The businesses are fleeing. The truckers aren't going there. There's so many crime. People are going to Florida. They're going to Texas. They're going to all these common sense areas.
So do you think she's serious with this move? Or do you think this is just...
I think it's an election.
You think it's a pandering
thing because they don't want the police to do their job. I thought that I want to know what the police are actually doing if they're not doing their job. What are they for?
It's not that the police there are not doing their job. They don't have enough police. That's their problem too, is they don't have enough police. So maybe that's why they're bringing these 1,000 National Guards in here to help with it. I think that's probably where you were going with that, maybe. But point is, she's bringing these people in here. Is this just a pandering? Is this just a political show? Because if you're going to do something about the crime, then like you said, like you pointed out, you have to do something about the soft on crime DAs, the open borders,
the policies. You have to listen to the people and get in there and make policies that are smart and that are going to keep your city safe, your people safe. I'm not saying that the police are perfect. There's bad in everything that you do, but there is also a common sense way of stopping people from harming other people.
This is, in all honesty, if this is the only move that you've got to make, and your intentions are to truly reduce crime and protect your citizens, maybe right now at this point in time, bringing 1,000 National Guard in there is a good thing.
Maybe it is. The thing that bothers me about it is, to me, it's like federalizing your police.
Sure.
And I get this is the state's National Guard. Mm-hmm. I do understand that. And we're doing the same thing down in Texas.
Sure.
On our borders. And I've never been a proponent of that either.
Well,
that's just something we have to do to protect our state. Yeah. And I get it. And she's got to do the same thing. But I believe that Kathy Hochul's problem is that she needs to do something about her police force, because her problem is a little bit different.
Well, her problem is a lot bigger than the police force. It's a lot bigger than just New York City. Like you said, it's the whole state of New York. You want to do something about, maybe this is her good move here. And I don't trust her intentions either, but maybe this is her good move here as a sign to show everybody, oh, it's safe to move back into New York. Please quit moving because we're turning into a hellhole.
That's a good point.
There you go.
That's probably right there. You probably hit the nail right on the head there.
Yeah, that was kind of my pandering thing I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. For real. But as everyone knows, there's crime in all these big cities. We even got to have it going on in Austin and Dallas and Houston here in Texas. Not at the level that it's going on in these others, but it's coming, and it will be coming very soon to your neighborhood. And another thing that really got me about this New York City story is the fact that they're having problems getting policemen, so they got their National Guard out there, but they don't have a problem setting up Chinese police in their city. So this is another problem that we really need to focus on, is China and how China is becoming a partner with America, including the police force.
Well, in my opinion, I like the way they call them police force, but I think what they are is just spies.
That's what they are. That's what they are. But what, did you guys hear the story about this software engineer at Google? He has been charged with stealing artificial intelligence trade secrets from the company while secretly working with 2 companies based in China, the Justice Department said Wednesday. Lin Weiding, a Chinese national, was arrested in Newark, California on 4 counts of federal trade secret theft, each punishable up to 10 years in prison. The case against Ding, 38, was announced at an American Bar Association conference in San Francisco by Attorney General Merrick Garland, who, along with other law enforcement leaders, has repeatedly warned about the threat of Chinese economic espionage and about the national security concerns posed by advancements in artificial intelligence and other developing technologies.
Can I stop you right here?
You can.
And this is a point that I seen earlier. I got to bring this back up.
All righty.
This is all bullshit.
Yes.
Because anything Garland puts out here lately is bullshit, because it says here, Attorney General Merrick Garland, who along with other law enforcement repeatedly warned about the threat of Chinese economic espionage.
When?
When? I want to tell you, in all the media that I pay attention to and that I watch, and I see both sides. I watch the liberal media just as well as I watch conservative media. And the only person that we have seen talk about this is Steve Bannon and the War Room and
That's
his
right.
posse. And that's the only people we've seen talk about the threat of China.
And one other person that we have not mentioned, but we're going to mention soon in just a minute, Kristi Noem.
Yeah.
She's been all over TV talking about it. I agree with Bannon and Kristi Noem that this is the number one problem in America right now.
Twice now we've had Chinese spy balloons fly over our country, and nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing. Yeah. And I have seen, we've been seeing this partnership that's going on between the Biden administration and China. And you know that Biden took money from China. He is totally gone. He's treasonous. Everyone is letting this happen. They're letting it. They see it happen. They see what he did with Ukraine, taking the money from China. They continue to allow him to just get rid of President Trump's China initiative.
Yeah, the China initiative is an effort by the United States DOJ back in 2018, and it was set up to prosecute perceived Chinese spies in America research and industry in order to combat economic espionage.
Exactly. So why all of a sudden has this Biden administration decided they're going to focus on China? You know, Chris Wray went on to say, today's charges are the latest illustration of the lengths affiliates of companies based in the People's Republic of China are willing to go to steal American innovation. I'm sorry, Christopher Wray, this is nothing new. Why are you acting like this is just now happening? President Trump was stopping this. He stopped it in his tracks. He started arresting people, and now all of a sudden you're going to come out and act like the theft of innovative technology and trade secrets from American companies can cost jobs and have devastating economic impact. Are you kidding me? You're going to come out and say that now? Well, we're going to let you listen to Kristi Noem, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about this. Governor from South Dakota.
Yeah, this is from John Solomon on Real America's Voice, interview with Kristi Noem.
So many military-age Chinese men coming across the border. They can't leave their country unless their country gives them an exit visa. So their country knows where they're going. Do you have any intelligence, has anything the state police or any of the apparatus that you have, your Homeland Security experts, any explanation for what their motive is? What are they doing coming into the country in such historic numbers?
They are coming here not just with permission. They are coming here with a mission from their government. They are CCP members that are told to come and infiltrate the United States of America to collect data and information. In fact, just this summer, we knew and had warnings from the State Department that there was going to be spies in South Dakota that were here to steal our genetics on our seeds and our agricultural commodities and on how to grow our food in this country. And that's just in one industry. We know that they are sending these individuals here to steal our way of life so that they can control it and we become dependent on them. And when they control our food, when they control our pharmaceutical supply, which they already do, when their military is stronger than ours, which it is getting there, and when they control our debt, which they are doing by buying our treasury bonds, boy, it is a scary time unless we get a president in that White House that really stands up and understands the threat that China is and doesn't sell access like Joe Biden does through his son Hunter.
This is what is happening. These Chinese are coming across our border. They have to have an exit visa to exit China to come to America. So you tell me, I mean, really, common sense would tell you why they're coming over here for the Chinese government to steal our technology. Yep. And then she also made another, which I thought was really cool. She made another warning. She warns everyone to make no mistake. The people in this country need to understand that Joe Biden is facilitating that by continuing to use TikTok. And when he does it to try to win elections, then that just means that China is helping him win elections. So we need to be warned right away to watch out for China, which we've known this forever. We've known this for a long time. They talk about it in our Congress all the time. Well, we're going to get rid of TikTok. We're going to stop the government from, having TikTok, our representatives from having TikTok on their phone. They do all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, Biden's going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to use TikTok so we can get to Generation Zers. But one thing we have told you about in this show today is crime is happening everywhere. We got crime in our elections, crime on our streets, crime in our intelligence agencies. We have the weaponization of our government. But how is this going to be stopped? Are we going to be able to stop it with an election, do you think?
In one cycle? No. I think it's going to take a generation, I bet.
Do you think it's going to get bumpy? You think it's going to get bumpy before we actually get to the November 5th election? You think it's going to get wild like it did in 2020?
It's crazy. Yeah. I think it's going to be crazier this year than it was.
I keep hearing rumors that it's going to be a Hamas thing instead of a BLM thing this time.
Either way, it's going to be chaos. Either way.
Well, these third world countries have been emptying out their prisons and sending these criminals over here. So we are going to be seeing a lot of bad, I do believe. I believe it's going to get worse than it was in 2020. So I want everyone to buckle up and be aware. Are you going to accept this new third world status, or are we going to rise up?
Is this thing working? Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
And we'll see you next time.
We're out.